Maybe it all comes down to how we deal with perceptions. Please welcome to the TEDx stage, Bashar Atiyat.
Thank you, guys. Thanks a lot. We have that remote, okay? Thank you. Wow. Okay, they don't tell you there's an X here that makes you feel like a target. James, that doesn't help with the hammer earlier, but my name is Bashar Atiyat. I am an actor and a film consultant in Hollywood, California. I come from an Arab Bedouin background, from Jordan, to be more specific. Thank you. Oh, Jordanians, all right. Thank you. Been in Hollywood for 17 years, and I want to talk about changing a distorted image. The image I'm talking about is actually the image of Arabs and Muslims in Hollywood. This is something I've been seeing for the last 17 years, and I've seen the change. About the, which one is the clicker here? All right. I want to talk about the stereotype. They do stereotype us, yes. But actually, recently, I just found out we also do it. I'm sure you all know about the show 24, very influential in feeding into that stereotypical image about the Muslims and Arabs. We just want to kill the world. We want to kill everybody. Or at least that's what the show says. But actually, I've just recently found out that I do it as well. Let me explain. Everybody please meet Leland. I met this guy at a coffee shop, Starbucks in Hollywood, and the first time I looked at him, I said, okay, here we go, it's another guy, rough, rugged, tough, redneck, who knows nothing about nothing. 45 minutes later, I found myself sitting with one of the most intelligent people I've ever met in my life. This gentleman builds sets for movies, like hundreds and thousands in Hollywood, for a living. But his hobby is building hydrogen fuel cells, a technology we haven't even understood yet. His car has much better fuel efficiency than the latest model came out of GM. I stereotyped this guy. I was thinking he's stupid. I did the counter stereotypical thing. So I thought, wow, I just did what I'm always fighting against, the terrorist thing. Then I thought, what about how do we change this? Who can accept the change? Do we accept the change? Do they accept the change? Well, accepting the change is in different ways. You can accept the change in your own thoughts. You can accept it with what you say, with what you do in different ways. I'm a Bedouin. I live in Hollywood. I have 2 beds, but I sleep on the floor. I have a dining table, but most of the time I eat on the floor. I love watching TV every night, sitting on the floor while I have a couch in the back. I guess you cannot, as Georgia said, you cannot take the Bedouin out of a Bedouin. You cannot change that. To the point where my friends from Hollywood, they come and see me, sometimes they stay over, and they see my culture, the way I live, the way I talk and speak and walk and do things. They started calling me the Bedouin in Hollywood. And I thought this is like really pigeonholing or, another stereotype. Or it could be a good propaganda for me. But then I overlooked that and I thought, a Bedouin in Hollywood? Have they actually accepted an Arab Bedouin in Hollywood? They know that I work with them for the last 17 years. Have they accepted a Bedouin in Hollywood? They know I'm an Arab. They see me pray, they see me fast, they see me do things. They've accepted a Bedouin in Hollywood. Another example outside of Hollywood. One of the side jobs, a long time ago, about 12 years ago when I was a student, to support myself, I used to work as a country dance instructor. Thank you. That's the Bedouin in boots, but actually a Bedouin teaching cowboys how to dance country? That was weird, but actually they've accepted because I talked to them, I did business with them, I mingled with them, I lived within them. And no matter what the politics at that time said, during September 11, I was doing this job as a side job. September 11, I had cowboys at the biggest country club in the world called Cowboys, actually, and Cowboys came to the country club and say, Bashar, you're great, no matter what they say on TV. I thought that was really powerful because they know who I am, people to people. They've seen me work with them. So there is the will to change. One of the strongest tools human has ever came up with is media. Before I go any further, is Dr. Naif here? I want to say thank you to this gentleman. I met him here on TEDx a couple of days ago. Please, yes, again. I haven't told him yet. I wanted to keep it here, to save it to the stage. I heard about the 99 back in Hollywood, not from him here. He did exactly what I want out of you, out of everyone. I'm not talking about Arabs and Muslims. I'm talking about everyone who lives here in this region because it affects everyone who lives here. I'm not on the American side. I'm not on the Arab side. I'm on the human side. I realize that people, no matter, regardless of religion and background and skin color and language, whatever it is, people are people. Can we use this media to connect people to people? I'll tell you how strong media is. Politics is the biggest user of media. Politics has a very strong tool, more than weapons, more than whatever foreign policies or whatever you call it. It's called media. Al Jazeera channel comes out of an Arab state called Qatar, is the main source of news in the US, believe it or not. Media. Use it. We don't use it enough. Now, how do we use it as a solution? How do we use media as a solution? It tickles me every time I see the commercial from Dubai Department of Tourism in Hollywood. Atlantis Hotel commercial in Hollywood. These little things, they're just commercial. I know they're commercial, but you know what? It was to the point that people have never been to the Middle East, by the way. They want to come and see the Middle East. They want to come see Dubai. Some of them think Dubai is a country on its own outside the Middle East. That's how much they don't know. But you know what? They love Dubai. Media is extremely powerful, but we're not using it. How do we change that distorted image using media? First, educate. First, educate. And you cannot blame a person for not knowing. You can blame yourself if you have the knowledge but are not teaching him. We have the knowledge about our culture, about our religion. And I'm not talking about us, only Arabs. Everybody who lives here, you have the responsibility of this. You cannot blame them for stereotyping us, most of the time, for misjudging us. I think we're not doing enough, unfortunately. And we have a very powerful solution, very powerful tool called media. Media, I think, is, if it's print, if it's internet, which is really powerful these days, if it's TV, film. The US is a film culture. They love film. Use it. I like to use always film. I want to see more films from this region. Our culture is 10,000 years old, for God's sake. We have a lot more stories than they do. But we're not telling them. People will always take what you give them. What are we giving them? I know for sure Dr. Naif is giving them. He is giving them. I've seen his effect. I've never met him. I met him here on TEDx, actually. But I've seen what he's trying to give them. I love it. It tickles me when I see that. They are accepting the change. They are accepting us. The Bedouin in Hollywood is a good example. I'll tell you my best example of accepting a Bedouin in Hollywood. Going to a meeting in the back lot at Universal Studios, and a guy, I guess, I don't know, he saw me on some shoot or worked with me on a shoot or something, jumps out of some commercial they're shooting on the back lot, and he says, "Yo, Bedouin, what's up?" I said, "Bedouin, what's up?" Well, that's crossing culture, but he, in his own different way, and Bedouin, what's up, he was okay with it to call me Bedouin, knows I'm a Bedouin, and he just mingled with it. He went along with it. I'm his friend. Leland, the one I misjudged, is actually my friend now. But we are not reaching out enough. I want everyone who lives here, who knows about here, who is Muslim, who is Arab, who is other religion, whatever, you are part of this region, you're affected by that negative image. And it's part of you who needs to educate them. If we don't educate, the more you give tools and toys to kids, the less creative they become. If you don't give them, they become more creative. That's why they are creative and assuming things about our culture. Being creative is good, but please do not be creative on account of my culture and religion. Be as creative as much as you want. Hollywood is about creativeness, isn't it? But not on account of my own culture. Let me educate you. Let me reach out to you. One of the good things I always use is joking. The American culture is a lighthearted culture. They love to joke. A few weeks ago, I was invited to another seminar at the Academy of Motion Picture. And as I go in, there's a security guard who's checking with the X-ray, the ladies' purses, and so I leave the X-ray. I just like to joke. I'm an Arab. I can joke about Arabs, right? So I leave the X-ray. I go to the security guard, and I do this. And he looks at me confused. And the supervisor comes running. Oh, Mr. Atiyat, what are you doing? I said, what? I'm an Arab. I was joking. But look at the response. He said, well, we're hoping people like you will change that image. These are the guys who give the Oscars. They are willing to change. Everybody is willing to change, but they don't know enough. It's our responsibility now, take advantage, like Dr. Naif and others, to actually reach out to people. Once we reach out to people, they will reach out back to you, I guarantee you. They have done it to me, I'm sure they will do it to you, and everybody who lives in this region. People to people. And before I leave, I want to give you an example of people to people, actually, is TED. In the last couple of days, I met the next speaker, which I will present. James, you will not present the next speaker. The next speaker, actually, I met a couple of days ago on TED here. Turns out to be my cousin. I know that sounds bad. I know that sounds bad. Really, my cousin. She brought the family tree, and we are actually cousins. We found where we are connected. I found a cousin, so it's not only people to people, it's actually cousin to cousin this time. And she's going to speak up next. I'm done with my speech, and her topic is going to be unleashing hidden talents. Everybody, please welcome my newly found cousin, Khulud Al-Atiyat. Thank you.
Thanks a lot.